Great brands don't discount just because there is some sale day coming up. Great brands discount strategically in order to accelerate sell-through on a couple of different SKUs and maybe just maintain margins or secure margins in different SKUs that already have a lot of natural demand. In this video, I'm going to talk a lot about how you should view your different products and your inventory on a SKU level performance and how we approach sale periods here at eCommerce. So without any further ado, let's hop straight into it. Hey everybody, Victor here. I'm the head of operations, head of growth, chief operating officer, whatever you want to call it, from eCommerce in the US, in the American market. And I've learned a lot over the last year from almost doubling their annual revenue from 2022 to 2023. And we have a huge product SKU catalog, okay? We've introduced more than 150 new products, new designs in the last year, okay? We have all sizes from S to 4XL, which means that we have a lot of variants and a lot of sell-through and a lot of turnaround, okay? I've learned a lot about how to view, or how to evaluate our inventory, as well as how to maybe make our, biggest disadvantages and turn them into our real kind of competitive advantages and competitive unique selling points, all right? And today we're going to talk about how to approach sales, especially with a big product catalog, and how you can make, sales not only, a scaling opportunity or opportunity to acquire new customers, but also from a business development and from a turnaround perspective, a win for you, okay? So first of all, a lot of brands out there go ahead, approach a sale and say okay, everybody's kind of just doing 30% off. We're only going to do 25% off or 30% off or whatever, depending on how prone they are to make steep discounts, right? This is really wrong when it comes, or not necessarily wrong, but this is really not necessarily beneficial for that brand when it comes to thinking about your product performance as well as your margins on a SKU level basis. Because there are different SKUs or different products that you have in your inventory that generally have more natural demand, they're better sellers, and some SKUs that have a lower turnaround, okay? So I see all my inventory pretty much like stocks, okay? So similar to stocks, you've acquired a stock at a certain price, and then depending on how the stock is doing, this company is doing, how well it's managing, how much their product's in demand, the stock will either rise in value and you can sell it even for more money, or decrease in value, and you can either hold it, trying that it will, hoping that it will recover somewhere around the road. But first of all, you will then have tied up that cash in that low performing stock, meaning you have some form of opportunity cost, as well as you'll never know if you ever will really recover from that loss, all right? So you need to understand, similar to stock picking or, evaluating your stock, you need to understand and evaluate the real value of your inventory on a SKU level basis, because product A might be performing a lot better as product B, and you might be lower on inventory as product A than on product B, although it's in higher, and a higher demand, which means that you should sell it at a higher price in order to maintain and stabilize or secure margins. And ultimately, this comes back to simple supply and demand principles, right? How much product do you have in stock from a particular design or from a particular SKU, and how well is this selling? If you have a lot of demand, right, but not a lot of supply, prices should go up. If you don't have demand, but a lot of supply, prices should go down, right? And like this, you should evaluate all your products in your inventory. And this is also not only how you should evaluate your inventory, definitely not how you should do your balance sheet or whatever, just to take this misunderstanding completely out of the equation. This is not some form of accounting class. This is just how you should approach your inventory when it comes to sales, all right? When it comes to sales, a lot of brands, as I said, go this blank approach of we're going to go 30% off site-wide because everybody does it, right? And most likely when there's something that everybody does, this most likely won't work because it's obsolete. So you want to go ahead and try to a little bit more of a creative route. And every time before we launch a sale, I go ahead and evaluate my product or our product inventory on this with the stock approach, and I evaluate each SKU or each design for us in our particular case by 3 metrics. First of all, the sell-through rate over the last 30 days, then how much inventory we still have available in our warehouse from this particular design, and then the gross margins. Most people out there only evaluate on the gross margins, meaning how much can we discount while still maintaining some form of a profitable venture, right? So this, however, for me actually is the least important thing, because I don't want to have any product in there, in my warehouse that got into my warehouse 120 days ago, right? I don't want to have, kind of low sellers in my warehouse where I still have 300-400 units off, right? I don't want to have those in my warehouse. I want to give those ships back in, right? Liquidate that inventory into cash so I can purchase new inventory that sells better at a higher rate, that acquires me more new customers because it has more natural demand behind it, right? So, as I said, the metrics that I'm evaluating are 30% last 30 days sell-through rate, last inventory right now at the moment, as well as gross margins. So let me run through a couple of examples, right? So, first, high demand, low inventory, normal margins. All right. So high demand, people in the last 30 days, or this product has sold through really a lot over the last 30 days, but we only still have a couple of them left going into the sale. The last thing that I want to do is actually decrease, my margins, and I want to protect my margins there because I know this will either way sell out in the next couple of days or definitely in the next week. Therefore, last thing that I want to do is put a big discount on there. Therefore, I will definitely, if we, for example, run a sidewide discount, go ahead and apply this least amount of discount that I could do in order to protect margins because I know it will not hurt my sales for that SKU. On the other hand, for example, if we have a really low sell-through rate, meaning low demand, but a really high inventory, meaning high supply, and normal margins, right? The margin variable kind of stays the same. I really want to discount that a lot, all right? Especially depending on how low the demand is and how low the sell-through rate number is. I really want to discount that a lot because I don't want to be holding inventory that doesn't turn around in my warehouse. Because first of all, every product that doesn't turn around in my warehouse costs me money because I have to rent the space in my warehouse. Second of all, it ties up cash, that I could use in order to buy new inventory that is high, that is turning around higher at a higher rate, acquires more customers. And third of all, it just probably is a growth hurdle for me in all ways. All right. So therefore, this is how I go ahead and approach all my sales. And this is, if you take a look at it, every great brand approaches their sales, right? If you take a look at why a brand, a great brand discounts 30% on that one and 20% on this other product, they usually do it because they have higher inventory to that and they need to get rid of that product. Obviously, there are kind of, exceptions to this rule where you go ahead and you have, a 30, 40% or like a 20, 30% side-wide for Black Friday or for whatever, that is a different way to approach that. And that is a very limited time offer, where still most brands do not really go ahead and just make a blank check kind of thing and say like 30% off everything. They still kind of tier it based on their inventory and demand needs, okay? So this, at least for me, when I really properly understood that and how to evaluate my inventory and how to go ahead and price it also outside of sale periods, meaning should I go ahead and maybe raise prices for this particular SKU? Should I lower price for this particular SKU? I was looking at it in a completely different way, and I saw a lot more opportunities to liquidate also my inventory that was not selling so good, not selling so well but outside of just putting a blank sale out there, right? I was able to, also outside of sales periods, maybe reprice this particular item, this particular product, because the market was giving me a different signal, right? I really love this approach. It's a super market and data-driven approach on how to price your products, as well as how to run sales. I also think it really puts the consumer at center, because as I said, this really prices your product and your turnaround and your SKUs really on the market level, and you're not overcharging or undercharging. You're literally exactly charging what the market wants and what the market needs and what the market supports. All right. So with that being said, I hope this, kind of really was such a game changer for you as it was for me when I first heard about it. I first heard about it from Taylor Holiday on the eCommerce Playbook podcast. So shout out to you guys. Either way, thanks for watching. Hope you could take away something from that, and I'll catch you in the next one.